scandals keep on coming, don't they? Lois Lerner warned her own staff about what they say over email last year. Lerner's response? Perfect. Congressman Jim Jordan joins us now. Congressman, I just want to explain the email chain a little bit better there. She was told, Ms. Lerner was told, look, you can erase emails. You can do that. And her response was perfect. And shortly thereafter, I believe the emails were erased. Yeah. What do you make of this latest release of emails and the chain that we've got going here? What's going on?
Right. Well, here's the timeline, Stuart. First of all, when she first knew Congress was inquiring about this, days after that, in 2011, 8 computers mysteriously crashed, and hers being one of those. So she already knows her emails that she sent outside the IRS are gone. Then on March 28, 2013, she gets a draft from the Inspector General saying, oh, we now know targeting took place. 12 days later, she sends this email chain where she's inquiring, are in fact these instant messaging, these chats and things that go on within the IRS, are those things saved? Are they traceable or not? Are they trackable? And when she finds out that they aren't saved and they aren't traceable, aren't trackable, her response is perfect. So we have an email exchange here where she's saying, let's make sure we keep things from Congress. Let's make sure that these instant messaging component that we have is not traceable and Congress can't get, and more importantly, the American people can't get their hands on it and see what we've been talking about.
You know, Congressman, there's a very strong suspicion that the machinery of government was used to interfere in the presidential election of 2012, the machinery of government being the IRS. We've not gotten to the bottom of it yet, and we're 5 months from an election. Our viewers are really annoyed about this, if I can coin a phrase. They are really angry about this, and they want to know, are we going to get the full and whole story before the November election? Can you answer that question?
We're committed to do that. It'd be nice if we had a little cooperation from the Internal Revenue Service. Now, think about this. They had a duty to produce all of Lois Lerner's documents. They had a duty to preserve them, and they had a duty to disclose when they couldn't do those two things. They breached all 3 duties. They didn't preserve the documents. They had the computer crash. They didn't produce what was subpoenaed, and then they didn't disclose to Congress in a timely fashion. They knew in April of this year that they couldn't get all of Lois Lerner's emails and they had lost a significant portion of the evidence, and they didn't tell Congress till 2 months later. So we got to keep pushing. It'd be also nice if the Justice Department investigation were a real investigation.
It won't be.
For goodness
for goodness sake. It won't be, will it? I mean, by now we should know that they're going to stonewall in the White House. And the Justice Department will stonewall. They'll do anything they possibly can to avoid the full story coming out. I don't think there's much you can do about this, really, is there?
Well, there's some good news here. I mean, I'd like to point to some. 26 Democrats voted with every single Republican saying we need a special prosecutor. So 26 Democrats had the courage to step forward and say, you know what? What's going on at the Justice Department relative to this scandal about your most fundamental First Amendment speech rights? What's going on is wrong. We need a real investigation, an investigation where someone's impartial, not someone leading the investigation who was a max-out contributor to the president's campaign. So there's at least some positive there. We need someone in this administration to step forward and say, you know what, I think it's time for a special prosecutor as well. Hopefully we'll get to that, and then we can actually have a better chance of getting to the truth in a timely fashion.
I've got one last question, which I think goes to the nub of the whole thing. Do we have firm proof that the campaign to re-elect President Obama or the White House had any role in this going after the present political opponents? Do we know for a fact, can we prove that they did that?
We don't know that specifically. What we do know is the president and high-ranking Democrat senators and officials in the government were telling the IRS, look into this, do this, and Lois Lerner was all too willing, because of her political beliefs, to target conservative groups and therefore diminish their impact in the last election. So we do know that took place, but was there something specific? We don't have that. What we do know is what the president, remember when the president called out the Supreme Court at the State of the Union address on the Citizens United decision, and then Senator Schumer, Senator Durbin, letters they sent to the IRS demanding that they do something. So we have that, but we don't have any direct communication, say, harass and target conservative groups.
Congressman, thanks so much for sharing your expertise today. We know that you are on top of this, and we appreciate the time you spent with us this morning. Thank you very much indeed, Jim Jordan.